Hello, everyone. My name is Amaya, and I'm here today with a special guest, Michael Williams, that will be joining us very soon. Today, we will be discussing the issue of wealth inequality. For all of the people who are unaware and don't really know much about wealth inequality, I will start off like this: it's the poor, the rich, and the people in between. But as of right now, the people between is starting to look more like the poor, while the rich is skyrocketing off the charts, leaving 70% of Americans behind. So I'm basically saying this: wealth inequality is the unequal distribution of American wealth spread across the country, causing less people who were once able to for the cost of living comfortably to now falling under the poverty line and becoming. This is also causing the homeless rates to increase, which makes us ignore these innocent people who were one day okay to now suffering. I asked my friend Michael here his opinion on wealth inequality.
My opinion on wealth inequality is that it is so severe in this country, and I feel like the higher classes they see like these really big tax breaks. Like people like you see how Trump still hasn't released his tax returns, and so clearly he's hiding something. When you realize that he doesn't pay taxes, but you realize how much money he makes, but if somebody in the lower or the middle class like myself was to not pay taxes, they would try to get me on tax evasion. And so I feel like they tax the middle and the lower classes so much, but the upper classes get so many breaks that it's never wealth inequality is never going to go away at this point because I'm giving a third of my income before I even see it, while people who are rich and have money like that get breaks all the time and big companies that make billions of dollars. And so wealth inequality is just going to continue to grow. How like people struggle to make ends meet, they struggle to pay bills, and the people who can do that very easily without even thinking about it get to save most of or all of the money that they get.
I see where you're getting at, Michael. Um, what do you believe causes the problem?
The problem is, like I said before, those tax breaks that they give to the upper class. I don't see how giving a break to the people who make enough money to support themselves and their families comfortably and can still have more money to do the luxuries of life and things that they please. I don't see how that can benefit anybody but them. I don't like we pay taxes for like the salaries of police officers and other government programs when in reality these should be government funded things. Um, how come the government can dedicate billions of dollars towards warfare and oil and all of these other things, but when it comes to college and other government institutions, the government doesn't have to pay for that. They can take the billions of dollars that they have and put it into the prison system or other things that they feel like they should fund. But at the same time, it's like we don't, the middle and the lower classes don't make money like that to be taking a third of their income to a bunch of things that don't pertain to them. So I feel like the problem is the tax breaks. They need less tax breaks for the rich and more tax breaks for the people like the poor and middle classes who don't make money like that.
Okay, so now we're gonna get personal. Describe your social status and are you comfortable?
My social status is middle class. I'm an African American adult and I do work and I'm in school, but I don't work for an income. I just work for pocket money. Um, my parents are the ones who support my education. And as of now, I'm not really working to go anywhere, so I'm not seeing any movement. But soon, when I do, I hope that I will.
Well, in your own opinion, who do you think is causing the growth of this problem? Because there was never this big of a gap how it is now.
The government and the upper class and the rich are creating the problem. The top 1% owns more than the bottom 50%, and there are over 300 million people in this country. So, how do a few thousand people have significantly more wealth than 150 million people? That it cannot work that way. And I think they set it up in their favor, and the result is exactly what they want. It's not working for us, but it's working perfectly for them. And so I feel like it makes it so difficult to increase your status when it comes to working a regular job because the income that you make is taxed so heavily and what you're making already is not that much to begin with. So it literally everything is against you and there's nothing in your favor. So it literally creates this problem where you can't get out of the situation that you're actively working to get out of.
Well, then, the last question of the day would just be, do you think we can ever see a change in the way things are going?
I feel like the way and I feel like if the big businesses and the rich paid more taxes to cover what they heavily tax us so much for, things would have to change. I feel like there would be more income available at the middle and the lower class levels, and the income that these people earn would be able to. They would have more to devote towards education and you know keeping clothes on their backs, a roof over their head, and food in their mouths. And I feel like at the same time, everything being so expensive, you can't tax the middle and the lower class people so much with everything being so expensive because that's like a it cannot work in their favor. That literally is put in place to keep them down. So I feel like the only way things would change is if those tax breaks were given more towards people like us at the middle and the lower class, and the rich actually paid more taxes towards the things that we are taxed so heavily for.
Thought out responses, and I hope the viewers took a lot of information from this and learned something that can open their eye up and spread the word.